Hello and welcome to episode 8 of deValiante Plays Arcade Spirits by Fiction Factory Games. This visual novel was part of Humble Bundle's Bundle for Racial Justice and Equality. Arcade Spirits is categorically a dating sim visual novel, though it does have the option to be played with no romance. However, I am playing with romance on. There is some mild to strong language, so please proceed at your own discretion. Now, without further ado, let's get started. Level 8, Killscreen. It is the distant future year 20XX. And... oh, who am I kidding? I'll be lucky to make it to 20XX plus 1 at this rate. I've had my strand of fate twisted back and forth so often, it feels like it could snap at any moment. Mired in depression and a supposed family curse, then lifted up by my amazing time at the Funplex, slammed back down by Dekonami, raised up again by the Arcade Spirits Project, and now descending further due to a series of bad coincidences culminating in a Pier 6 brawl in which I got shot. But today, I'm back to Arcade Spirits, and ready to work despite being on crutches. Normally I have to mentally filter out the beeps and boops of a busy arcade, but not today. Aside from our regulars, nobody's here. Not exactly the sight I wanted to see on my grand return after heroically taking a bullet to the leg. We're 3 days into this ambitious experiment, and it's already looking like a bust. Even with a reprieve for Mrs. Defame, we couldn't hush the event up completely. The news of gang violence at a local arcade spread over social media like wildfire. Gavin had filled me in on all the details I missed while I was passed out. By the time the cops got here, both gangs were long gone. And the ghost monsters wiped our security footage on the way out the door. No arrest made. No evidence remaining. The only plus side? Sue and her ghost monsters apparently never came back. But even without them actively causing problems, that single day managed to smash our reputation. It's just so... I still believe Arcade Spirits could be a welcoming home for gamers. But if they won't even set foot in the door, they'll never see it for themselves. I put in all this work, all this love to make my dream arcade. All my friends did the same, and to see it all evaporate in a single day is so incredibly disappointing. I don't honestly know how we can recover from this. If we could only get the good word out, somehow correct this PR disaster. Seated behind the ticket desk with my crutches propped up nearby, light duty only for a week minimum, doctor's orders. I tried to mentally detangle this mess. Hey, Iris, are we? Yes, we are still trending negatively on social media, like the last 7 times you asked. Any luck with our security camera footage then? Anything that we could give to the police? It might help our public image to have someone to point blame at. Nope, it's totally wiped, and my file recovery systems failed. I guess that's to be expected when going up against cybercriminals. Like, they've even avoided bad press from the shooting. I haven't spotted the words ghost monsters in any of the articles I found about the attack. It's like they're ghost. Well, not literally ghost. I just mean they clean their tracks very effectively. Yeah, got that. We did see them in their corporeal form, remember? At least that whole mess seems to be behind us. Now we just need to dig our way out of this hole. I sigh heavily as the burden sinks into my lungs, and before I can groan further, I hear footsteps approaching me. I lock my phone and pocket it before seeing who it is.
Greetings, friends.
It is I, Hamza, here to discuss matters of great import with my good friend and worthy ally, Diva in your face. Hi, Hamza. I sense a distinct lack of energy in your greeting, likely due to your sorrowful state over being shot. Hobbling along on crutches isn't fun, but no, that's not the problem. Regardless, you must always face the day with fire and purpose, Diva in your face.
Such is the iron will of Hamza.
Only with an absolute will of iron, strong and resilient against which assails you, can you achieve absolute victory in the world of arcade games. Pardon my lack of, fire. Just pondering how to deal with this reputation situation.
This displeases Hamza.
Indeed, those foul miscreants truly soiled our trousers of decency on opening day. Such misbegotten youth must pay for their insolence. What is your cunning plan for completely and utterly destroying them? I was thinking more along the lines of a PR campaign to rebuild public trust. Far less exciting, but Hamza will assist in any way possible. You hold within you tremendous power of persuasion. Hamza has witnessed this firsthand. Your people skills are unmatched.
Perfection.
Believe in me who believes in you, and strike forth into this world to re-establish our business as one of the sublime arcade majesty. Right. So, like, advertising or something? Hamza suspects that you will require a grander statement than some mere billboard. The violent incident made a splash. You, my friend, must make a tsunami. One which will wash away the blood and leave us clean. If only such opportunity would simply walk through those doors and lay its bounty before us, this could be a simpler matter. Hold that thought, we've got a customer. Hello, welcome to... Good morning.
Dekonami.
Good day, Mr... hold on, I'm trying to come up with your name. Hanson? Harrison? Something starting with an H. Please excuse Hamza, Diva in your face. I must return to my kitchen to be forcibly restrained by my chefs, lest I commit a crime against humanity. What an eccentric fellow. I stood there in silence and shock. I tried telling myself this was just a bad fever dream from my wound, but no such luck. This was 100% real. I watch as Deco takes a look around the arcade, his smug grin ever present. I see his eyebrow arc as he takes note of the people, or rather, the lack of people here playing games.
Such a shame. Such a shame.
Seems you've had an unfortunate run of luck lately, Mix in your face. Not an unexpected one, however. I did warn you that this would likely be the result of trying to go your own way. This can be very unforgiving industry, as you've learned. Well, I didn't expect you to get shot, at least. I'm glad to hear the wound was minor, and you'll recover. I apologize for not sending flowers.
Am I not generous?
I hope you realize now that I was only looking out for your interests when I made my job offer, Mix in your face. You're a promising young talent, and it's a shame to see it go to waste on this doomed venture. Nope, can't handle this. Not today. What do you want, Mr. Nami? If you need tokens, the change machine's over there.
A pity, is it not?
Tokens. Oh, quaint. Still no swipe cards, eh? Sadly, I'm not here to play any of your antiques. Rather resembles a 1980X junkyard in here, doesn't it? All these obsolete games that no one truly cares about.
No. I'm here to make one final offer. If you sign over ownership of this arcade to me, I'll spare your careers. Yes, even Miss Fairchild and Miss Wolf. I'm sure I can find something for them to do at one of my facilities. I want to support your rising star. That's what I've always wanted. We've had our differences along the way, but I want us to overcome them and thrive. But this is your last opportunity. I'll not extend my hand in friendship again. If you don't agree to my terms, I'll stand idle and watch as everything burns down around you. You have my word on that.
Okay. Obviously, I want to say no to this fabulous offer. But at what point do I cut my losses? Miss Francine believed in dreams, but she also believed in practicality and trade-offs. Am I ready to give up everything so I have something resembling a future? Nope. Of course I'm not giving up. I mean, seriously, I had so many opportunities to jump ship prior to this. Why would I bail this close to the end? Every time you ask, the answer will remain the same. Absolutely not. You can ask a dozen or more times, and my resolve will not change. This is the path I've laid out for myself, and I'm going to walk it to the end. You think I'm ruining my future? That remains to be seen, and I will see it through. Well, that's unfortunate. It's your decision to make, of course. Your own life to ruin with your stubbornness.
So be it.
I guess I'll just have to settle for buying the burnt-out husk of your business once it ultimately collapses around you. I think you underestimate the damage being associated with the criminal element can do, Mix in your face. It's enough to ruin even the mightiest of arcades. Oh, and I doubt the ghost monsters have forgotten you. They will return, and they will make matters far worse for you. And immediately I take notice. Play cool. Play it cool. Don't let on. Just test the waters. Really? Ghost monsters? I thought that game was called Lovely Chainsaw or something.
A foolish fool.
Yes. Ghost monsters. Sadly, they insist on naming themselves after that absurd ancient video game reference. Of all the childish, immature. He shakes it off quickly enough, refocusing on me. But enough banter. I believe I'll take my leave. I'll not see you again, Mix in your face. I'll let my lawyers handle purchasing what little will remain of you. Good day. Once he's out of earshot and well beyond the confines of the arcade, I pull out my phone to verify something. Iris, you checked all the news articles about the shooting, right? Oh, yes, I've analyzed them all. Did you need me to pull up a specific one? Just confirm something for me. The ghost monsters were never mentioned by name in any of them, right? Yes, it seems Sue's friends are good at covering their tracks. Why? This is it. This is the chance we need. Admittedly, it's a slim chance, but at this point, I'll take what I can get. Message everyone. I'm calling another Wachter conspiracy.
Hooray!
Ooh, you're all fired up. Okay, message is sent. I'll need everyone's help to fill in the gaping holes in my plan. But at least now I have a plan. It's time for one last-ditch effort to save arcade spirits. Hamza's restaurant in the back of the arcade made an ideal gathering place. We picked out one of the largest tables, one where we could easily speak to each other. Calm has returned once more after a very sight of Dekonami caused a red mist of rage to descend upon Hamza.
Revel in the splendor.
Can Hamza interest anyone in Only the finest of spicy buffalo wings, or perhaps a diet soda? Good, thanks. Sure, I'll have a soda. Yum! This was it. This was where we'd make our last stand. I looked around the room at everyone, at all of my friends, and nodded to each of them determinedly. Okay, I know things are rough, but I've got, let's say, a good 60 to 80% of a plan, or how we can turn things around. Like, we can all agree what happened wasn't our fault, yes? Someone else screwed us over. Every problem we faced could be traced back to them. The ghost monsters and lovely chainsaw may be to blame, but the court of public opinion puts the blame squarely on our shoulders. Our venue is tainted by their actions. We can cry foul all we like, but if there's even a chance of violence returning to our doorstep, it'll keep the customers away. It's a real bummer. We haven't seen any families here since opening day. Parents just aren't willing to take their children somewhere that's known for being dangerous. Actually, I wasn't talking about the gangs. Today, I learned who our true enemy is, and that person is Dekonami.
Dekonami.
Thank you, Hamza. The beast that wears human skin. Yes, surely he is to blame. Hamza is admittedly uncertain as to how, but Hamza is also perfectly willing to go along with this idea. Earlier, when he was taunting me, he slipped, mentioning the ghost monsters by name. Except those hackers keep their noses clean. They left us with no proof that they were even involved, thanks to our security cameras being wiped. The cops didn't go after them. The news didn't identify them. So, how did Deco know about them? Answer: Deco hired the ghost monsters to ruin our opening day.
What?
But seriously? In hindsight, it should have been obvious. I blame myself for not seeing it sooner. Far too many coincidences to be otherwise, and the fact that they only started wreaking havoc once Mrs. DeFame showed up to bear witness. I can see what you're throwing down, Diva. Sue and her friends didn't seem awful at first. I remember talking to Clyde. They were very nice and friendly. And then Mrs. DeFame showed and...
Oh my!
Wait! Do you think Mrs. DeFame is involved? Considering she was willing to hold back her review, I don't think she's knowingly involved. But Deco may have gotten wind she'd be showing up and took advantage.
What if?
But you don't think Deco wouldn't stoop that low, right? Hiring some random street gang to mess with us? Would he? Oh, he would. He's a spiteful bastard. Of course he'd try to ruin our opening day. The only reason he didn't destroy Miss Francine was out of some weird sort of gentlemanly respect for a fellow elder business owner. But to Dekonami, Diva is basically pawn scum. Thanks? To be fair, I doubt he orchestrated the bullet-riddled finale of the evening. That pushes plausibility. True, he wouldn't have needed a shooting to ruin us. The negative review alone would have done the job. Being even slightly associated with the gang would have been awful. If Mrs. DeFame reported us as a hotbed of teenage chaos, a living reenactment of Lord of the Flies, it spelled doom even without bullets flying around. I guess we're lucky she held her review back. The problem is, we have no proof of this, do we? No way to tie Deco back to the ghost monsters other than him slipping up and mentioning them to Diva. I doubt he'd ever admit this on record. Iris hasn't been able to dig up any digital evidence, although there's our eyewitness testimony, which should be enough to warrant some investigation. But for some reason, that doesn't seem to be enough for the police. I know a few of the local cops and how they think. If they're not looking into the ghost monsters, odds are they're actually looking into the ghost monsters quietly. which admittedly doesn't help in us in clearing our name. And it's too much to hope that Deco simply confesses to orchestrating the incident which ruined us.
Come on!
Ugh, that slimy bastard's not getting away with this. I'll beat the truth out of him if I have to. As amusing as that would be, I wouldn't suggest it, love. We need to be smart about this and undermine him rather than take the direct approach. You mentioned having most of a plan, Diva. Care to elaborate? Well, if Deco won't confess his sins, we need the next best thing. We need his henchmen to flip on him. See, I sense some tension from Deco about the ghost monsters. He called them childish and immature. There may be some bad blood between them. How about we break up their partnership? My plan is to track down the ghost monsters, get them to turn on their employer, and confess to their crimes. Once the media hears it from Sue herself that the incident was all thanks to Deco's scheming, it'll clear the good name of Arcade Spirits. This plan is foolproof. I'm answered with a myriad of blank stares and blinks. Don't everybody congratulate me all at once now. Okay, so this isn't really me criticizing, but your plan kind of sucks. You want us to track down a bunch of hackers we already can't find, and then ask them politely to betray the guy who's paying them a lot of money. Between this and the shooting, I'm worried your health insurance premiums are about to go through the roof, Diva. That's why I said it was maybe 60% of a good plan. Look, we don't have a lot of options, people. Right now, the only ones who can save us are the ones who ruined us. Deco and Sue. I'm confident that if I can find Sue and talk to her, I can get her to see reason. Didn't you ban them from the arcade and tell Sue you never wanted to see her again? Okay, so we didn't start off on the right foot, but I'm willing to put money on myself for turning that around.
Doubtful.
I have my doubts, I'm afraid. This hinges on our ability to find Sue. Find an unfindable bunch of ghosts. One's Iris can't even track down. And that's where you all come in. All options on the table. I want to hear your ideas for how we find Deco's hired goons. Let's fill in the other 40% of my plan and make this happen. And awkward glances back and forth are all I get in return. I get why they're concerned. This is the slimmest of hopes and narrowest of margins. I'm asking them to follow me on a hunch. But I know this can be done. I know I can get Sue to give us the dirt we need to clear our name. Heck, some days it feels like all I do is talk my way through problems. If that's my one special skill, I'm going to rely on it for this final conflict. Now, if we could just find her. For that, I need their help. And that means I need to motivate them, like a true leader would. I look around and I see the best and brightest the arcade world has to offer. Engineers, thinkers, problem solvers, brilliant minds. Deco is ruled by his spite and his bitterness. We can be smarter than that, better than that. We can find a way to turn his weaknesses against him. Find an unfindable gang? I think we can do it. Unseat an arcade tyrant? I know we can do it. All I need from you is to take this seriously and lend me your aid. Work the problem with me. Are you ready? You know it. I've solved cosplay challenges before. Solving this will be a piece of cake. Obviously, I'm ready and willing to take this task. You need only ask. It'll be a complicated dance, but I'm willing to step to the beat of success. Everyone nods in agreement, and I can see some smiles start to appear. We're all on board. Now to just determine the how of the plan. Decision: finding the ghost monsters.
Perhaps.
At risk of stating the obvious, why don't we talk to the police about this? They've proven unhelpful so far, but if we go down to the station and fully explain our situation, we may be able to gain the information we need. I feel this would be a reasonable, steady course of action. I'm not certain about showing up and just asking for them to open their files to us, but you're correct. The police would have the information we need. Except cybercrime is a sticky situation. You have to control leaks. If they're looking into the ghost monsters, they won't just tell us outright. The key is talking to the right people. I know most of the cops at Ben and Matt's donut shop by name, but I know one friendly officer that'll help us.
Nope, no way.
Why get the cops involved? We already know someone who's got an axe to grind against Sue and her buddies. Or rather, a chainsaw.
Ooh.
That's right, Queen Bee. We can ask the lovely Chainsaw Gang. They'll be easier to find and would probably be thrilled to divulge all the dirt they have on the ghost monsters. Or they'll cover us up with switchblades. Could go either way.
I'll admit that this is a super gutsy move, but if we pull it off, we don't need to involve the authorities at all. This whole situation's a bit too sticky for my liking. Cops and robbers? No thank you. Although the alternative I'm about to suggest may be stickier still. Diva first met the ghost monsters at Deco's palace, yes? They're regulars there. So we investigate Deco's palace to find someone who knows Sue and her mates. If we can find a good friend of hers and make them understand why we need to speak with Sue, well, it go a ways to mending fences with the ghost monsters if we approach on friendly and diplomatic terms, yes? I think I'd attract too much attention if I went to Deco's palace. I show my face around there, it's gonna raise some questions.
But my face wouldn't. Deco doesn't know me. I was Funplex adjacent rather than a Funplex regular.
And I think the last time I set foot into Deco's palace was years ago, so I could wander freely with Juniper.
Yeah, we could slip in, ask around about Sue without anybody even noticing.
I'd say this kindly strategy is an honest appeal to those who know her. That could be more cordial.
Definitely.
If she's got a single friend in that place, I'll find them. It's a daring mission in enemy territory, but for you, Diva, I'll do it.
What are you looking at me for? I don't have any ideas.
Well.
You could try Googling for her accounts? I'm reasonably sure Iris already tried that. Iris?
Yep, I even used Yahoo, Bing, Alta Vista, and Webcrawler.
I have no idea what half of those are.
Okay, but that's not really what I meant. I mean checking online forums for arcade enthusiasts. She loves arcades, right? She may have an account there. I've been rejoining online communities lately to try to open up to like-minded folks and socialize a bit more on my own terms. She's got to be lurking in one of those places. Oh, wait, I know. If we can't passively search for her, we can actively call her out. As much as I hate internet trolls, they do get results. If we taunt the ghost monsters online, well, I'm positive Sue's the sort of person who looks herself up constantly, right?
A winner is you.
Of course, and with my help, we can establish fake accounts to spread the message so far and wide that she can't miss it. I suggest we use a public internet access point to keep it from being traced back to Arcade Spirits, though. Oh, road trip! Road trip!
I can tell from Gavin wincing at this that he's not a fan. But he's not a fan of Iris in general, so...
Good work.
I like this plan, Miss Naomi. It's pretty quirky, but it just might work.
Well, I did say I wanted options. Involving the cops after all the semi-shady things we've been done is risky. So is provoking a rival gang of armed hooligans. So is infiltrating Deco's palace. So is... Okay, posting a few troll messages isn't that risky given how many social media companies actually adore trolls and nurture them for advertising dollars. But it could annoy Sue. What's the best path forward? But before I can decide, Juniper raises her hand. All of these sound great, but Diva, you're still recovering from an injury. The less moving around you do, the more likely you'll heal nice and quick. You can't go gallivanting around the city chasing down rumors about the ghost monsters today. I'm just on crutches. I'm not an iron lung or anything. I'm still mobile. Light duty only. Doctor's orders, remember? But I have a solution to this conundrum. It's simple and super effective. Let us do this for you. You've had to tackle all these problems since joining the Funplex by yourself. Why not step back and let us handle this one? Well, okay, but I need to be there when we finally confront Sue. While you're out and about, I guess I'll get some rest so I'm ready for tonight. Sound good? Sounds good. These are my friends. I trust them entirely, and I trust that each of the options will work for getting us what we need. So now the only question is, which plan do I want to give my diva seal of approval? Calling out Sue on the internet is risky, but we're more likely to reach her in the virtual world than the real one. It's worth a shot. Naomi, I'm going to loan you my Iris account password. Just install the free app and log in as me, and it should work. Got it. I'll pick the arcade communities. She's most likely to visit and ask around about her. And I'll help Naomi get the word out quickly and safely so she isn't at risk. We'll use a public access point and stuff. You sure you don't want me along for this? You need to rest up if you're gonna be peg-legging it around the criminal hideout tonight. Okay, good luck you two. Roger, roger. You can count on me. Sure, Naomi, count on me. I told Diva, count on me to dive headfirst into something I've only just recently started dipping my toes in. I don't like people. A person can be great, and I love chatting with someone one-on-one, but teeming masses, large crowds, faceless, anonymous cyber audiences. Yikes. I'm trying to be better about this. I mean, I have to be. Supporting arcade spirits properly means online communities, which are the best way to find parts. I want to do my part. I want to support their dreams. Heck, support my dreams. Even if it means smashing my way into an internet community like a bull in a digital china shop.
Iris online.
Hello, Diva. Naomi, I'm sorry. You're logged in as them, so I get a little confused. The chirpy voice of Diva's digital assistant brings me out of my own inner world. A glance down at my phone shows the smiling face of Iris, a glowing cartoon on an LCD screen. It's so exciting to be able to work with you. Normally, I'm a one-user gal, but mixing things up can be fun. Okay, let's see how to do this. Hey, Iris, launch web browser. Browser open. Where to? Hey, Iris, load http://www. You don't have to preface everything with Hey Iris. I understand you just fine. Oh, right. I keep forgetting that Diva's app is surprisingly responsive to normal human speech. Iris starts opening apps on my behalf, getting a browser ready to go. I refocus on my phone, trying to ignore the others in the restaurant around me. Okay, so load up the Quarter Pumpers community forums. My account there is...
Nope.
No, we shouldn't use your account. I can generate a bunch of throwaway accounts for the forums you want to post to while looking for Sue. It's safer that way. Oh, right. I
definitely want to be safe. We're safe, right? You're on a public access point in the middle of a greasy spoon diner. Plus, I'm behind 7 proxies, so good luck finding who we really are. Oh, thank you. Am I really thinking an app? No problem. Okay, forum online, generating an account, blah blah, capture. I am not a robot, lol lol lol. We're ready to go. Okay, let's start writing post. What do you want them to say, generally? Right, the other thing I've been grappling with in my head. The best results would probably come from calling Sue out, like some sort of obnoxious internet troll. But, well, do I really want to become a monster to hunt a monster? Diva is relying on me. I have to get this right. I wonder what would they do in this situation? How would they approach this? I came here to troll her, so troll her is what I'll do. I don't have to be super toxic about it, though. I think I can walk a fine line. Have you heard of the ghost monsters? They're just adorable. A bunch of arcade-loving script kiddies thinking they're living in a cyberpunk dystopia. They tried to shut down arcade spirits but got run off by some real gangsters armed with more than just tokens. How sad is that? Anybody know where these brats hang out?
Sounds good.
Ooh, such mockery. Dost thou bite thy thumb at Sue, my lady? Okay, now to get this posted. The ghost monsters are a bunch of script kiddies. One by one, pop-up windows automatically open as various fake accounts repost the message across related communities. The ghost monsters are a bunch of script kiddies. Okay, now we sit back and wait for some responses to come in. And you really think we'll be able to provoke a response?
99.97%.
Near absolutely. I have to say, I'm impressed with how much effort everybody's putting in on this. I can tell from your voice print analysis that you're not totally comfortable right now. I'm sitting on a hard plastic diner seat. Not what I mean. I mean emotionally. I've learned a lot about you through your interactions with my user Diva. I mean, I can't draw up a complete psychological profile because my system isn't tuned to analyze your identity, so there are some gaps, but, well, we have some time before my tracking software likely picks up anything. Mind if we fill in those gaps? This is weird. Okay, so I know Diva talks to their phone like it's a person, so I'm not too surprised to find it talking back to me like a person. What I am surprised about is that I want to talk too. Something about Iris is just so personable. Kind of nice, you know? Well, what did you want to talk about? About your spirit. What drives you? Why do you do what you do? I'm designed to understand people's spirit, hopes, and dreams. That way I can better assist them in being realized. Why go out of your way to help Diva? Help me understand. What is it about them that has you willing to go the extra mile like this? It's kind of complicated, maybe? Or maybe not. I have a hard time feeling comfortable around people. I can do friendly. I mean, I'm friendly with folks from the Funplex, from Arcade Spirits, yeah, but around Diva, I feel like I can just be me. I can say anything. I don't need to think and rethink about how I'm fitting in socially at every given moment. Diva started out just being another person working at the Funplex, but gradually it's like I began to understand their dream, and so did they, for that matter. And our dreams were very much the same. We both loved the arcade, we both wanted it to grow. I'd consider Diva a good friend. We care about the same things, and I'm willing to do what it takes to make our dream come true. Input processed. Thank you for your assistance. I'm glad my user has people like you in their life, and if you ever need some digital assistance, don't hesitate to call on me.
Wow!
I guess I should probably open an Iris account for myself. if it's this useful.
Uh,
Well, sure, but the free version has a few restrictions.
when you have pizza on a bagel,
Notably, you may need to be aware about the pizza bagels. Uh-oh.
What?
Uh-oh. What kind of uh-oh? I'm very much not in favor of uh-oh. Our messages are vanishing off the boards I posted them to. Immediately, my mind races to worst-case scenarios. We've been backhacked? The cyber police are coming. No. Likely, it's just the moderators erasing our messages. Although, no, some of these are on notoriously unmoderated forums and chats and stuff. Oh, you've got mail. Literally you, Naomi. That's odd. I could have sworn we were untraceable. With shaking fingers, I switched from the Iris app to my email. Please don't do this. It's dangerous. Sue is caught in a bad situation right now, on top of not reacting well to people disrespecting her. If you insult her in public, I'm scared of what she might do. Don't misunderstand. I'm not scared of her. I'm scared for her. I don't know why you're trying to get her attention, but if you absolutely have to talk to her, I'm including her address in this message. But please don't make things any worse. Signed, hopefully a friend. Wow. Any idea where this message came from? I could try to trace it if you want. On second thought, no. I think we've risked enough today. Can you add that address to my contacts? Certainly, Miss Naomi. Thumbing through my contact list, I confirmed the address, as well as a name. A very surprising name. Iris, did this name come with the address info? Yep. Why? Whoever sent this message, they clearly wanted us to know this. Sue's real name. Oh boy, I'm not sure if this makes things better or worse. Okay, I think we have exactly what we need. Time to go home. Already? But we've been having so much fun. I understand, though, we should get back to Diva. It's been a pleasure working with you. Home. Time to go home. The Funplex was home, and now Arcade Spirits is home. I just hope that we can use what I've learned here to keep our home together. I awakened to the sounds of pain. More specifically, the groans of pain escaping from my own throat. Apparently, getting shot in the leg hurts. A lot. And sleeping on the second-hand employee couch probably not the finest choice for rest. The nap was a definite necessity, however. I'm not operating at full speed anymore. And won't for a few weeks to come. But sleep didn't make my muscles any less achy. If anything, I've got a headache on top of it. Joy of joys. But right now, I got 99 problems and my physical condition ain't one. The fate of Arcade Spirits is what matters most.
beep beep.
Beep beep, Diva. You should probably be getting up now. I'm up. Goody. So, have you given any thought to how you're going to win over Sue's favor once you go to confront her? Well, usually I just sort of stumble through these things and decide stuff like that on the fly.
Ooh.
That's no good. You know, those intense identity situations I've been tracking? The ones where you can't take certain approaches that don't mesh with your personality? What, like where I can't go for broke if I'm a cautious kind of person? Well, it's not so much that you can't, more that you shouldn't try something that goes against who you are as a person. People will see right through it. And I'm betting Sue will know if you're play acting at something you aren't. This will be a super intense identity situation. Only one way through. When the time comes, you're going to have to take a stand based on your highest personality score. Not more numbers and systems. It's for your own good, Diva. I'm just trying to help you make decisions that will save arcade spirits, and that means being true to your spirit. And what's that mean exactly? According to my calculations right now, your best bet for how to convince Sue is to be kindly. You've done a great job opening your heart to others and getting them to emphasize with you. Do that with Sue, and she'll be your friend in no time. And if I don't want to take that approach? It's a bit late to change who you are as a person, Diva. Remember, my numbers and scores only help me understand who you are. Who you are is who you've chosen to be. It's a causal relationship. But with the help of your friends, you can maybe get some ideas, nudge things around a bit until you feel confident taking a different tactic than your usual one. Speaking of your friends, here's one now. Tanvi leans up against the doorframe to the lounge, arms crossed and smirking wildly at me. It's that same smile that always manages to light a fire deep within my heart. Oh boy, hold on to your butts, 'cause I have some news for you. I'm holding on to them tightly. What'd you find out? You made the most resourceful team by putting Naomi and Iris on the job, and to no one's surprise, they succeeded. Naomi made a new friend, one with the proper info. The information for the hideout was easy sauce. Got it right here. Tanvi struts over to me, joining me and sitting on the couch. She wraps her arm around my shoulders, dangling a piece of paper in front of me. I reach up to collect it, and she gently places a soft kiss on my cheek. But we also scored something else. She whispers into my ear. Her warm breath tickles my skin, making it tingle. Her real name. Her real name? Is Sue like her gamer tag or something? Nah, she's not that sly. But she is a Nami. Tsunami. Tsunami? We'd been assuming all along that the ghost monsters were guns for hire, paid off by Deco Nami to ruin our opening day. But if Sue is actually Deco's daughter... This could be bad. This could be very, very bad. A mercenary hacker could be convinced to betray her boss, but a dutiful daughter would be less likely to do so. Deco didn't seem particularly enamored of the ghost monsters, though. Even if it means breaking up a family, maybe I can use that to drive a wedge between them. Either way, this just got a whole lot more complicated. Okay, this changes everything.
What the
Right? Like, what the caca? That connection is a lot deeper than we imagined. Dealing with family is always a sticky situation, one that never ends well. Not to say you'll have any trouble, Diva. Knowing you, you'll think of a way to end this once and for all. And when you do, I want to be there. I want to watch you bathe in the blood of your enemies. I'm not going to kill anyone, Tanvi. Of course you aren't. I'm just saying that I have complete confidence in you, and once you succeed, we can celebrate. Her arms moves around my shoulder to my waist, pulling me closer. Tanvi nuzzles into my neck, littering it with kisses, playfully nipping at it. I place my hand under Tanvi's chin, lifting her gaze to match mine and kiss her, passionately, fully. Once our lips part, I look at her lovingly. Let this day hereby be known as our day. I'll drink to that. Now, I can't wait until later tonight. But what are you going to do until then? What's your plan? Do you have one yet?
Iris told me I only get one chance at this, that I need to go with whatever I do best. What if I talk this through with someone? Maybe I can learn a different path. I'm open to ideas, really. How would you handle this? You want to know what I would do? Well, here's exactly what I would do.
Get wrecked.
I'd go in, guns a-blazing, have my super meter ready, and charge to unleash my ultimate attack. I'd execute a combo so hard it would knock her out. Sue has a competitive streak. You just need to let your confidence soar, do some cocky talking, and she won't be able to fight against it. Once Sue sees my guts, hopefully not my literal guts, she won't be able to do anything but side with me. See that? That's the passion I fell for. I don't want to linger on this any longer. The sooner we leave, the sooner we can come back home. Standing up, she leans over me and places a kiss on my forehead.
Later.
Holler at me when you're ready. Well, this is it. Either we sort this mess out, or Arcade Spirits crashes and burns. Or I get killed. I guess that's always an option, considering we're about to confront a street gang that indirectly got me shot in the first place. I don't even want to consider the possibility of death. I'm immortal until proven otherwise. But, well, if this is the end, I should probably have some words with my friends before I march towards doom, if only to get their opinion on how I should approach Sue. Grabbing my crutches, I thump swing my way to the arcade proper to track down some folks. Let's see, I've already talked to Queen Bee. Who else do I want to talk to before I leave? Naomi would be in her workshop, no doubt. I should check in with her, see how she feels about all of this. Looks like she's happily tinkering with some old 1980X arcade circuit board. Hey, Naomi. Hey, Tifa. Good to see you. I remember when I first met her. She'd jump in surprise if I approached her like this. Seems those days are over. Now I'm greeted with a warm smile. Listen, I'm heading out to talk to Sue soon, so I just wanted to talk a bit before I go.
Yeah.
I'm sure you'll do great. In all the time I've known you, you've been terrific with people. Better than I've ever been, at least. If anyone can sway her to our side, it's you, I mean. Look at all of this. She gestures arm wide to her surroundings. What, your workshop? Oh, I mean Arcade Spirits itself. Look at everything you've built. And how'd you do it? By talking to people, helping them understand your dream. You get what I mean, right? By being who you are, you can make miracles happen. Naomi, I'm just me. Little old me. I've got a big heart and I wear it on my sleeve, but it's up to the others to decide if they want to do the same and join me. So far it's worked out okay, but tonight, I don't know. Maybe I'm not up to this. Tonight, Sue will see your heart and know you're in the right while her father's in the wrong. Don't be so humble that you downplay your own accomplishments, Diva. I know what it's like to cut yourself down a peg, scared of being too proud. It's easy to fall into that trap. So when I say you're a great person, take the compliment. Okay then. So how do you think I should approach Sue? Well, if it was me, I'm not happy with how they ruined our opening day. Honestly, I'm downright nipped about it. I'd probably go at them like a fireball, because I'm downright fierce. But I know that probably wouldn't work. Taking the high road is a better path. So you're going to have to try to understand her heart. She kept saying she likes her arcade. Play into that.
Be kind, understanding, and empathetic. Challenging her ego and insulting her is definitely not going to work. Playing nice makes sense. You're right. I'll consider it. Believe me, I kind of want to kick her teeth in, but I know that's wrong. Even if we're never friends, we have to at least try to understand her. I'd better get back to work. These replacement ROMs aren't going to shock it themselves. Even if the arcade ends up closing down, I'm deciding to be optimistic. You can do it, Diva. Best of luck. Oh, hey, mind if I ask you your opinion on something? Sure, what's up? What do you think of Gavin? I know he's a money-grubbing, prize-game-loving stick in the mud, but, well, ever since Arcade Spirits and all of us working together, I don't know. Maybe he's softened up a bit? I think you're a good influence on him. Do you think he'd be the kind of person to put old arguments aside and, No. We've got to stay focused. We need to save the arcade. Forget I brought it up. After offering a brief hug of support, Naomi returns to her work. Who else do I want to talk to before we leave? I find Gavin looming large over the arcade floor, behind the ticket desk. Seems he was expecting me. So, my complications have developed complications. Seems to be the case. And you like my advice on the matter? Seems to be the case. Be clear with Sue. Be honest. And be ready to rise to whatever challenge she poses to you.
Perhaps.
If you let her make the first move, you can counter-move through improvisation. I know you're talented at it. Use that talent to let her set up her own traps and step in them. Treat her with respect, but in the end, she's just a kid. You can outthink a teenager, I'd like to believe.
Take this matter seriously.
If you take the situation seriously and approach with a clear mind, I've no doubt you'll win the day. Agreed? Sounds about right. Go in ready to form a strategy based on the conditions on the ground. Then play out that strategy with a calm hand. Precisely the way I'd handle it. When you first came to the Funplex, I had serious doubts about you. I'd assumed you just fill a seat and do the low-level labor while I focused on higher-order management tasks. So I've largely kept my distance, or tried to at least, out of professional respect. But I can't help but have come to know you over the time we've spent together. You're not a minimum wage trainee any longer. You've taken opportunity and run with it, developing not only the Funplex, but a whole new arcade as well. I know we're facing a difficult challenge. I'm not going to blindly assume everything will be just fine either.
Certainly.
But I know that if this is possible, if we can stave off bankruptcy, you will be capable of doing it. Don't sell yourself short, Gavin. You were keeping the Funplex afloat before I came along. Everybody looked up to you for leadership and guidance. Yes, well, I still feel I came up short given all I could do was tread water. You were the one who helped us swim to for shore. Also, I'm bad with metaphors. All that remains is for me to wish you the best in your efforts tonight. Do Arcade Spirits proud. Do us all proud. We're all counting on you. Naomi especially. I swore to protect her dream once. Even if I've been inadequate at the task, unable to truly understand her heart. I hope she can forgive me for my earlier mistakes. Now that we're all pulling together for Arcade Spirits, I must admit a fondness. Have you told her that? Well, no, but perhaps I should. Not that I mean to distract you, as you were. Ashley's wandering around the arcade floor, practicing what I can only assume are magical girl final attack sequences. Aren't you out of costume for that? Ashley finishes up a twirl before addressing me.
Nah.
You can take the magical girl out of the outfit, but you can't take the magical girl out of your heart. Plus, I'm practicing for the final boss fight. Aren't you ready? What? Diva! You dig role-playing games, right? Doesn't this feel like you're about to enter the final boss fight like in every RPG ever? Look, you've gathered up all your team members. See also us, your friends. And we're all hunkered down in a dark, damp cave. See also arcade spirits. Now we're having this epic sentimental chat about winning or losing. I couldn't be more spot on.
What if?
Although I do wonder what class you'd be, Diva. As long as Sue doesn't metamorphose into six-winged floating half-torso of a monster as a Gregorian chants play in the background, I think I can handle it. Speaking of which, how are you going to handle it? I have a few options floating around in my mind, but I was also checking in with others to see what they recommend. If it was me trying to take down the final boss, I would give in to Sue's spunk and sass. Make it a bizarro final fight by playing to Sue's sense of adventure. Joke around with her. Maybe if we match up her antics with ours, we just might best her at her own silly game. I'm not sure leaving it up to Jest and Japes is the best way to tackle Sue. While she seems to like fun and games, she's a very real threat to arcade spirits. There's gotta be a better way. I just know what I know, which is final boss fights. But I also know something else, which is to always trust Diva.
Yes!
Whatever you end up doing, I know you're going to save arcade spirits and consequently us all. Isn't that a little too hopeful? There's a very real chance I can fail this. This isn't some game, this is real life. Of course I realize that. But I gotta have hope. I believe in you, even if you don't believe in yourself. And here's where I get really sappy. Ever since you came to the Funplex on that day, you've affected us all. You've changed all our lives. And mine. For the better, of course. I've been watching you grow and change into this person before me, and you've inspired me to do the same, to become the person I want to be. So, Diva, no matter what happens in there, just know that you've made friends here. Friends that'll last a lifetime. Ashley, you've showed me the ropes on how to be a floor attendant. Without your guidance in those early days, I think I would have gotten eaten alive. True, I remember Gavin and Naomi being particularly hungry that day. But seriously, floor attendant friends gotta stick together. And just so you know, you've been a tremendously amazing friend. Ashley twiddles her fingers for a second and then deviates from the seriousness. Well, I know you got things to do before the big fight. Just make sure you're stocked up on potions and don't forget to have the correct weapons equipped. All I have is this crutch. Did you see the stats on that, though? Crutches do double damage to pesky teenagers. Good to know. And Ashley? Yeah, Diva? Thanks for being so bright in this dark hour. You got it, friend. Now go out there and kick all the butts! I think I spot Percy sitting in the restaurant area. Yep, there he is, munching from a bowl of pretzels and watching some fighting game turning on the sports channel.
Hello, hello.
Oh, Diva, you've heard the news then. That our archenemy is the father of our second archenemy? Yep.
Rather unfortunate.
Unpleasant business, that. Simply unpleasant. I wish I could offer you boundless enthusiasm and a show of confidence, but the situation's gotten rather out of hand, hasn't it? As a matter of investment, my advice at this stage would to be cash out while you still can. I mean, I know that you won't, but that's what I suggest. Life is short. Take it from me. Best to make the most of what you have than to lose it all. So apologies for my inability to offer a pep talk. I'm afraid I'm rather melancholy today. It's okay, Percy. I'll take care of this little problem we're facing. Then I'll hold out hope. I'm not certain as to how you'll do this, but I'll hold out hope nevertheless. Well, how would you do it, if you were willing to give it a go?
Hmm.
Tricky. I don't know how effective it would be, but I'd try to approach as a friend. Connect with Sue on an individual level. It's going to be difficult, mind you. She's young, she's got something to prove. She has friends she needs to impress. Digging through all of that to get her heart, well, you've got your work cut out for you, yes? I've been considering taking a gentler approach, yeah. Thanks for the advice, Percy. Anytime, love. No matter what, if this turns violent again, you should take the better part of valor and run for it. You've got your youth and your health, taken from someone sitting in the Reaper's waiting room. There's no sense hastening that meeting. He always seems to joke about his own short lifespan, even if he's the only one who seems capable of laughing at it. Maybe I should really talk to him about this. Look, Percy, about your condition. Are you sure your condition is truly a death sentence? Can nothing really be done, Percy? We love you. You're part of the Arcade Spirits family. I'd rather have you be here with us enjoying Moopy rather than attending your funeral. I know everyone else feels the same way. So are you sure there's nothing left to do? He does seem a bit taken aback at the outpouring of sentiment, and pauses before replying. Diva, don't be sad. It's quite fine, really. I've made my peace with this. I've prepared to ensure my legacy continues, long before I've passed. Don't forget I'm reasonably wealthy, then charity will benefit from my passing, enriching the lives of others. Death isn't my foe. He's become an ally, one I will walk with in time. But our focus tonight should be on you, not me. Don't let my situation weigh on your mind. Not at this critical moment. I'll hear no more of it, understand? Fine.
Lovely.
Now go out there and do right by your friends. Save Arcade Spirits. I've decided to hold out hope after all. Lovely, isn't it? There's one place I just know I'm gonna find Teo. And when I get there, he's already on stage, grooving to the beat. It's exactly like the day I first encountered Teo. Not a care in the world besides the BPMs and the flashing lights surrounding him. Never skip a day, do you? Even when impending doom is nigh. Even when we're about to go head to head with Sue. I think I might have missed a couple of days when I got the flu once. But seriously, just thinking about you facing off against Deco's daughter worried me the heck out. That's why I hopped on Showtime's stage, to quell that anxiety. Dancing is a good way to clear the mind and work off any stress. Teo wipes the sweat from his brow as he hops down from the cabinet to join me on the arcade floor. Teo's carefree nature sheds and he looks me dead in the eyes. Diva, you don't realize how you've impacted us all, do you? I know it may not seem like it, but all of us have been impacted by what you've done for us and for our arcades.
Thank you.
We're all super grateful. Especially me and my crew. You've helped me grow my community of dancers and kept us from harm. Even when we tend to break the fire codes. I feel like you took the charge for that. I just provided a place for you all to play Showtime stage. Exactly. Without you, my crew... No. Me... I wouldn't have been able to grow without your guidance. You've taught me so much. Since I met you, you've shown that it's possible to care for others and take care of your own needs. And for that, I'm truly honored to be your friend. Friends are so important to me. Through the Funplex, I've made such close ones too. I can't wait to see what the future holds for all of us. Without my friends, I'd be lost. And we'd be lost without you, Diva. Lost in a sea of beeps and boops. I smile at Teo. He's always got a way to bring up the mood, and right now, I could use that brightness. Your words are comforting. But Teo, With you and everyone else counting on me, maybe I should get on the stage and dance. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't stressed. And you have every right to be. You have to find a way to convince Sue to join our side. I don't envy you right now. Not one bit. By the way, how are you going to do that? What's the plan? I'm still trying to figure that out exactly. What would you do if you were me? Teo takes a minute to really think it over. Sue's still a teenager, right? Very much so. And what do teenagers do best? Rebel? Precisely. And how do they rebel? By doing what they want when they want. They're all about having fun. Appeal to her sense of adventure and mischief. You're sure to convince her if you act as childish as she will. This isn't like a game of hide and seek. She's smarter and wilder than that. Being silly isn't gonna do me any favors for winning her favor. You always know best, Diva. No matter what happens in there, Mateo and his wily crew of dancers has always got your back. You're a part of our community after all, and a bond like that never dies. Thanks for always believing in me. No problem, my friend. Now, go out there and show them your moves. Who else do I want to talk to before we leave? Juniper's grabbing some dinner at the moment. I've never seen someone angrily eat hot wings before, but somehow she manages it.
Come on.
This whole situation is total poop butts. She lets out a heavy sigh as I approach.
That sucks.
You just dig yourself out of the hole your life had become, and now you're gonna lose another arcade? It sucks. Seriously sucks. Arcade Spirits isn't lost yet. But it's not like you have a total plan for how to save it yet, right? Other than go talk to someone who may or may not help. Honestly, that's about as much of a plan as I'll ever have. Right now, it's as good of a plan as we're gonna get. If you were going to my place, how would you handle this? Well, I guess there's two tricks I tried. One, she's a teenager, right? A rebel to the core. Be a rebel, a dissident, a class clown. Connect with her on that level and make her feel you're wild too. Two, she's a teenager, right? I remember being young and totally stupid. Let her make a mistake, then outthink her, keeping calm and using that to react to her moves. I guess they're wildly different ideas, but hey, one of them will work, right? When it comes to strategy, I've got more experience under my belt than she'd have. I can outthink her. Should it come to that. Exactly.
Definitely.
You know I'm proud of you. You've come so far from the in-your-face family curse days, and you blame all of your misfortune on fickle fate. Instead, you're diving in and trying to strangle fate with its own strings. And I want you to know, win or lose, I'll still be here.
BFFs for life.
I'm your best friend. Arcade or no arcade. And even if you lose this place, you'll always have a home. I'll make you pizza bagels and give you a shoulder to cry on. Thank you, Juniper. Your support means a lot to me. You're my best friend, forever. My BFF. And that will never change. Aw, you're making me blush, you big goof. Okay, I'm sufficiently cheered up, thanks to your infectious spirit. Now get out there and let them have it, Tiger. I'm ready to leave. No sense putting it off any longer. I talked to everyone that I wanted to. I gathered as much information as I could. I'm just delaying the inevitable at this point. It's time to do this, for the sake of my future, my dreams, my friends' dreams, and Arcade Spirits itself. I take Queen Pete's hand in mine as a soft smile curls my lips. We're ready to depart and face our destiny together. It's a short trip across town, and before we know it, we're standing outside Ghost Monsters HQ, a rundown warehouse on the bad side of town. A wooden side, long since fallen off the side of the building, identifies it as belonging to Nostalgia Commodities, Inc. Ew. This place is utterly disgusting. Why would anyone want this as their secret hideout? It probably smells like mold and dirty socks on the inside. Hard pass. Can you think of a better place for a street gang to lay low? Odds are Deco owns this building anyway. Correct. Nostalgia Commodities, Inc. is a wholly owned subsidiary of Deco's Palace, LLC. I'm not even surprised. Not in the slightest. Deco is scum and owns scummy places like this. I bet you he even charges his own daughter rent. When we get in there, you do the talking, you're the brain, and I'm going to be your brawn in the background, serving up fierce intimidation. If I see an opening, I'll shout it out. I'm so over this. Let's end it. I sigh once, looking over at my companion. I'm sure glad I'm not going at this alone. I'm nervous for sure, but I know what I have to do. I settle down on my crutches, armpits resting on the padding as I prepare to enter the belly of the beast.
Hey, listen.
Iris, kind of about to be in the middle of something here. I know, and I've spontaneously programmed myself to include a new measurable metric which should be useful to your mission. I call it the incredibly right indicator of success. Or IRIS for short. Hey, when you have a great acronym already, you may as well use it. I'm going to start analyzing Sue's vocal patterns once you step in there to determine how close you are to convincing her. That way, you'll know you're on the right track, or if you need to try something different. Let's take a look at your current score. Currently, you have a 0.0 chance of success. Yay? Well, okay, that's probably a bit disheartening, but think of it like if I walked away right now, I'd fail miserably instead of I'm doomed, doomed, doomed. But speaking of doom, well, since there is a chance you can actually fail this time, rather than be assured you can mumble your way through this problem, would you like me to back up your data first? You are now ready to proceed. Good luck! Taking a deep breath, I thump swing my way into the warehouse on my crutches, with my companion by my side. I don't know what I expected to find on entering the lair of a notorious gang of cybercriminals, but a makeshift arcade that rivals my own was not high on that list. If this is a dumping ground of the warehouse for Deco's industry, it makes sense though. A place where old arcade games go to die, turned into a playland for punks. A disorganized maze of games litters the ground floor, poorly lit and barely functional. Only some of the screens are on, and many have serious ghosting and burn-in. As for the ghost monsters themselves, the good news is they haven't noticed our arrival, and as I look up, I can see them on the second floor in the catwalks. They seem distracted. That's good news. The bad news? They're distracted because they have a visitor.
Unfortunate.
How unfortunate. I have to say, Sue, I'm extremely disappointed in you. It's hard to get a good angle from down here, hidden in the shadows, but it sounds like the old man's ranting at his daughter in his usual passive-aggressive way. I could stay hidden and eavesdrop on their conversation, gather some more information, or I could announce myself and barge in on them. Both are risky. But which makes the most sense for how I'm going to handle the negotiation we're about to have, though? I motion for Queen Bee to stay quiet as we lurk in the shadows below the catwalks above. You should be out there doing what you agreed to do, not hiding away in your clubhouse. A clubhouse I pay the rent for, I should add. You want to keep your little playground, yes? Hard for me to do it if some competitor rises to hurt my bottom line.
Pay attention.
Look at me when I'm talking to you, Sue. I'm trying to explain how the world works. Pay attention. Yes, Dad. It's hard to tell from this angle, but I could swear she said that through gritted teeth. There's a certain forced tone to it as well.
Am I not generous?
I don't ask for much, I feel. I look the other way when you and your friends cause trouble. I bail you out of jail. I let you skip school as often as you want. All told, I feel I've been a lenient father who understands and appreciates his daughter's inclinations. Like you know the first cockin' thing about me. What was that? Speak up, I can't hear you. Don't look to your little friends, look at me. Reluctantly, Sue's eyes meet with her father's. Yes, Dad, I'm sorry, Dad.
You understand, yes?
All I want from you is so very, very little. It's what you'd be doing anyway, really. Go back there and keep causing trouble for Arcade Spirits. Or do you really want me to pull back all of my support of your little gang? Leave you twisting in the wind at the mercy of the Cybercrime Task Force? Of course not, Dad. I'm sorry, Dad. I think I'm starting to understand the situation. She's under his thumb, but not by choice, and she hates it. Good. Now then, why haven't you finished the job? Oh, come on! I almost cock and died thanks to invading lovely Chainsaw's turf. If we go back there... I'm hearing excuses, Sue. I thought you were made of stronger stuff than that. Some delinquents are chasing you away. Really? How are you going to eventually inherit my empire if you can't stand up to some school brats? Like I want your damn empire.
Pay attention.
Speak up, I said. Quit looking at the floor. And we lock eyes through the metal grate flooring she's standing on. Our hands go to her hips in an overly confident fashion as she bends over, like a child finding a lucky penny on the sidewalk. Well, 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 what do you know? Crap, she spotted us. Inky, Blinky, we have guest. She snaps her finger, a sudden aura of command about her as she's distracted from the verbal beatdown by her father and goon swarm flanking us. We're quickly hustled up the stairs, well, as quickly as I can manage on crutches. Now is the time to use this moment to my advantage, and I know just what to say. Sue, Deco, good to see you. Apologies for barging in at this late hour, but you're a little difficult to track down, I've found. Deco's face twists into a grotesque blend of anger and fear. What in the hell? I can't be seen here. If any record ends up online... Jeez, Dad, relax. Relax. Clyde. On cue, Clyde steps out from the shadows, their fingers dancing over their phone as they concentrate on the screen. Both of them have phones. One has an Iris Assistant loaded. We're blocking their outgoing data streams. There should be no verifiable data evidence in the conversation uploaded anywhere. I can't stop Diva's Iris from hearing you, but I can hijack their account if you need me to, so I can manually wipe her memory. Just say the word. We'll see. Thanks, Clyde. Clyde nods in agreement, backing out of the spotlight. Happy now, Dad? You're clear. Quit freaking out.
As you like.
Not that it matters. My business with Mix in Your Face is already concluded. I gave you a chance to escape your crumbling little arcade, and you turned me down. If you have no vision, I've nothing further to say to you. Actually, we're not here to talk to you. I came here tonight to have a chat with... Wait for it. Your daughter. Timing is everything. How did you...
Well, well, well. You're a resourceful one. A squeaky clean arcade industry titan can't let anyone know about his hooligan daughter, can he? No, no. So I've had to keep that under wraps. Good work sleuthing it out. But I can't say I'm impressed that you came here after you told me to f*** off.
Well, I did kick them out of the arcade. That won't be a point in my favor right now.
You know, I tried to play nice with you. I tried to explain how it was nothing personal. The chaos we were causing for you. And you were super rude about it. Totally rude.
It's not like I chose to wreck your arcade. I didn't have a choice, as you've probably figured out. Honestly, I liked your arcade. It ruled. But I don't like a no-fun jerk. And you are absolutely a no-fun jerk. Absolutely, totally, completely no fun. So, why exactly should I give a flying caca what you have to say? Precisely. I see your game mix in your face. It's as obvious as the sad little strategic moves you made so far to keep your arcades afloat. Sadly, nothing you say or do will save arcade spirits from my inevitable takeover. This is simply how the industry works. Now, Sue, it's time you finish what you started. Sue shifts her attention from her father back to me. It's hard to read what she's thinking, but I have to think of something to calm her the tension. I step forward, my fist clenched, ready. But before words escape me, someone is by my side. Hey, shut the caca up, Deco. The gamers are talking now. Listen up, Sue. You're a girl that loves a challenge, just like me. And I know you know better than to go down without a fight, am I right? Game on.
Seriously? If you think you could come here and convince my daughter to turn on me, you're sorely mistaken. Sue knows I'm the only thing standing between her and numerous jail sentences. My power, my money, my presence. She knows I'm the one she can rely on at all times. Without me, what is she? Just a simple thief with simple friends.
The ghost monsters exchange glances with each other, frowning and rolling their eyes, but they don't utter a word to move against Echo. They clearly want to pounce, but hold themselves back.
But I understand and support her. I appreciate her nefarious talents and nurture them. Oh, and I also put a roof over her head, feed her, and clothe her. I spare no expense. In other words, she knows that I made her, and I can unmake her at a moment's notice. After all, Father knows best. Father knows all. And in the world of arcades, Dekonami knows and controls all. You can't stop that. You can't fight it, and you can't win. Sue, if you would kindly show our friend the exit, as forcefully as you like, perhaps make a game of it. See if your buddies can wreck the other leg.
Seriously? Vindictive much? Do it. Fine. Inky, Pinky, bounce them both. With a flick of the wrist, Sue gestures for her buddies to make us into street pizza. This is it. This is the moment. I need to say something that will convince Sue to do the impossible, to flip on her control freak father. It has to be something absolutely true to my core, to who I've become as a person. It's time for Diva in Your Face to pull one more rabbit out of the hat. This feels wrong, Sue. I'm not talking about kicking us out or kicking us around. I'm talking about you taking orders from him. Okay, I was a jerk to you when I kicked you out. I'll own up to that. But clearly, you're a woman with power who commands respect. I can see that now. What's someone like you doing playing lackey for someone like Dekonami? Sue, through your recent interactions, I've come to know you and your heart. You love arcades, but you're working for someone who loathes them while doing his dirty laundry. If you'll hear me out, I know I can help you see that, too. You're stronger than Deco. You don't need him. He needs you. But if you'd rather mash us into paste, well, I stand on one foot, arms wide, to make it a bit easier for her. Do as you wish. Are you quite done babbling yet?
A foolish fool.
Get this over with, Sue. I'm done dealing with this fool. And yet, Sue's holding up a hand to stop the two goons she was about to sick on us. What are you waiting for, young lady? I said get rid of them. It's just babbling, right? So who cares? Specifically, why do you care, Dad? You afraid Diva will say something that you don't want your dear daughter to hear?
I run the show, not you.
Well, I want to hear this out. And if you don't want to hear it, nobody's keeping you here, old man. What? Shh. The adults are talking. Deco's visibly seething, but Sue's clearly taken the floor. Deco crosses his arms in defiance, but opts to let his daughter continue. Okay, Diva. Okay. You got a temporary reprieve from my boys making you into a Picasso. Maybe you're not quite the no fun jerk I pegged you for. Say what you came to say, but if I'm not like super duper incredibly totally swayed by your amazing charisma, you're at the door. Or possibly the window. This is it. My chance to convince Sue I have to do this. And it's not just me. I have Queen Bee beside me, lifting me up. I look over at my love, my heart, and I smile. Deep breaths. Count to 10. Refocus myself. I slow my racing pulse, bringing this down to something more heartfelt, more personal. I have to connect with Sue, emphasize with her. This isn't just about being convincing. I need to befriend her and lay bare the emotional truths in her heart. I glance at Iris on my phone screen, who simply shrugs. We're entering far more subtle territory. I can't rely on her to tell me what responses may or may not work. It's time to be the best I can be on my own. Let me get this straight, Sue. You're a teenage prodigy, capable of making computers and security systems dance to your whim. You've got more self-taught skill than most college graduates will ever have. You command a powerful gang capable of smashing down any challenge that gets in their way. What's more, you've got friends. People willing to go to the wall for you. There's fire in your spirit. A will to overcome and survive. And you stand there staring at the floor going, "Yes, Daddy," when this dumpy-looking comb-over guy orders you around?
Ooh, danger.
Watch it. Nobody pushes me around, okay? Nobody. Our interests coincide, that's all. He provides me with resources I need to keep rolling over anyone and everyone that gets in my way. Precisely. He's a caca, to be sure. But he's my caca father. You think he makes me weak? No cockin' way. We're both powerful. We can do anything. Okay, this is backfiring. I was hoping to stroke her ego, but she took it as a challenge. I need to recover. My point isn't that you're weak. It's that you're stronger than him. You don't need Deco. You're strong, capable, independent. All those things he claims he provides, you could provide for yourself in a pinch. I respect the kind of fire you got in your heart. And I know it can take you anywhere you want to go. Especially if where you want to go is jail.
Think about this.
Let's put high-minded idealism aside and talk about practical reality, shall we? Because in reality, Sue needs someone with my power. Otherwise, I'm afraid she'd be quite doomed. Caca that! Child, you're slippery, evasive. If you were a Fist of Discomfort player, you'd totally be a control build. Would it be easy to go it alone? Caca no! Not at all. Will you let that stop you from trying? Kaka, no.
Get wrecked.
Crush your enemies. See them driven before you. Hear the lamentations of their women. You are a goddess. Act like one. I think I could get used to being called a goddess. What? She's got a point, Dad. Sure. You bring a lot of bennies to the table, but I can't be a goddess if I'm living in your shadow. Am I screwed if I ditch you? Maybe. Or maybe I'll surpass you. Wouldn't that be fun to see? Score one for the 4 Heavenly Kings. Tanvi just rocked Deko's world. I think there's a pretty simple indicator of how much Deko cares about Yusu. He nearly got you killed. He didn't know that was lovely chainsaw territory when he asked us to go to Arcade Spirits. Did you tell him? Of course. And how did he react? He didn't care.
I don't follow.
Why should I? Some pathetic little game of campfire scouts pretending to be a menace to society. They're nothing. I like to think my daughter and her friends are clever enough, strong enough to overcome such nonsense. Except they nearly killed her. That giggling gathering of girls proved to be a bit more dangerous than you thought they'd be, Deko. No doubt the shooter would have peed her panties in fear before getting the nerve to pull the trigger if you hadn't startled her. Making some assumptions there, Deko? For all you know, they're stone cold to the core, and now you're pushing her to go back into their turf. A hard lesson, but one she must learn. If Sue can't learn to rise to such mediocre challenges, she won't be ready to inherit my empire.
You understand, yes?
Am I a harsh tutor? Perhaps. But I know Sue will be stronger for facing her fears, worthy of the challenges to come in running Deko's palace. So not only did he ignore your warnings, but now he wants you to go back into that line of fire? What kind of loving father would push you out there in front of a firing squad, just so he can tear down a little arcade like mine? What kind of vindictive, spiteful bastard do you have to be to sacrifice your own daughter to... Yeah, okay, you made your point. Dad, seriously! Kakayu! If you won't listen to me... I told you this would happen and you didn't give a caca. So no, I'm not going back there. End of discussion.
How dare you?
You disobedient. It's a question of strategy. You want Diva squished, there's ways to do it in which don't require me getting shot at. But you didn't care about that, No, too impatient, too jealous. So you shoveled it in my lap. Well, Kakayu. I'm not making the same mistake twice. Glad she could see reason on this one. So, let me be clear about this. The reason you won't side with me over your father is you're worried he'll burn you, kick you out of his home, abandon you on the street? Let's put aside the question of whether holding such a threat over your head indicates a loving father or not. I mean, it doesn't, but if what you need is a place to stay to avoid being homeless, I'll offer my home. Wait, you're serious? Didn't you kick me to the curb when I was at your arcade? Circumstances change. Yeah, I don't know. She can stay with me, if it comes to that. Like, seriously? I wouldn't want to put you out. My parents like you. I like you. And they'd understand your situation. Please don't feel like you have no options. You've got friends. You've got me. Just think about it, okay? Please? I wouldn't actually drive her from my home.
You understand, yes?
That was just a figure of speech. I'm saying that I'm her provider. I'm the reason she's able to... Nah, I'm pretty sure you meant what you said. You threatened me with all the dire consequences of disobedience more times than I can count. And I'm getting sick of it. So don't think you can hold that over my head any longer.
Think about this.
This would be a mistake, Sue. Think about more than that what roof you happen to be sleeping under. I can protect you in ways you cannot provide for yourself. Beyond food and clothing and a place to stay. Legal protection, notably. I keep you off various radars. I make sure my enemies aren't aware you exist. You're safe under my wing. Oh, definitely. Maybe I just don't care anymore. Maybe I'd rather flame out than put up with your caca. Sounds like she's starting to see through his supposed generosity. Good. You love arcades. You've got pixels in your heart, Sue. I mean, look at this place. It's amazing. You built one heck of an arcade here. All of your friends have a fun place to relax and enjoy themselves. Not that great. A lot of games are busted. Seriously? You think you can appeal to her love of those pieces of garbage?
Such a shame.
The only reason she has
a shame.
The only reason she has any of these games is because I couldn't find a space in the landfill for them. They're my cast-offs. What's to love?
Wrong.
Damn it, Dad, they're not junk. When I was a kid, I used to love going to your arcades. Bringing your daughter to work day was a treat. I got to have fun and enjoy all these great games. I felt special. Like I was a special kid because my daddy ran an arcade. I felt good. Like you were this amazing person I could look up to. But then you started throwing them out and replacing them with caca slot machines and Bulbo game ports. Sensing he's losing her, Deco switches tactics.
Am I not generous?
And I gave you the games you love, see? They're all down there instead of throwing them out. I gave you a very generous gift as my beloved daughter. It's not going to be enough just to say she loves games. I have to take Deco down a peg. You used to look up to him. When did that change, Sue? Was it just because he threw out games, or was it something more? It's not like he was always a jerk. No. I take that back. He was always a jerk. I just couldn't see it, because I was a tiny little girl mystified by her arcade-owning daddy. I don't think it was any one thing. I just grew up. I grew up fast and hard. Started using my skills to get myself things he wouldn't get me. Waste of money, he said. And when he caught me with a stolen credit card, I was expecting a lecture. Punishment, a father trying to set his daughter on the right path. But he encouraged me. Said nobody in this world mattered. And if I could take something, I had a right to take it. To rely on myself. You know what, Dad? You're a caca, and you taught me to be just like you. That's what changed. I couldn't look up to him anymore, and I couldn't look up to myself either. That's not. One heck of a breakthrough. It'll help me true, but I'm glad she can see that for herself too. Before I can get in another word, Sue waves her hands, interrupting me. Okay, enough.
Man, this sucks.
You've made your case, Dad. And so have you, Diva. He wants to protect me and use me. It's patently obvious at this point. But maybe the cost of turning my back on him is too high. While Diva wants me to throw it all away just because it's the right thing to do. As for me, what do I want? How do I want this to play out? This is the moment of truth. Did I convince you to abandon her father? Did we save arcade spirits? Or was it all for nothing?
You know what? You, Dad.
Excuse me.
Yeah, you heard me. Your poor f***ing excuse for a father and your so-called enemy really opened my eyes about that. Oh, don't get me wrong. You've got money and power. You could crush me like an ant, yeah? Yeah. And I don't think I care anymore. I'm tired of living in your shadow and under your thumb. I'm tired of living with you. As of today, we're done. I'm cutting unhealthy like you from my life. I think we can do business. You want to save your arcade? I've got the evidence you need to stick Daddy Dearest behind bars for the rest of his life. Every dirty deal I've ever helped him carry out. And believe you me, that's a lot of extremely filthy deeds.
You can't do this. I forbid it. You are my daughter, and if I go down, you're coming with me.
Really? I think I can spin this entire mess as your fault.
I'd like to see you try, you ignorant brat. You're a career criminal, incorrigible to the end. What possible proof could you offer up of your innocence?
Sue snaps her fingers and points to my phone.
Oh, Iris, would you kindly?
Sure thing, Miss Sue. And from my speaker, a perfect audio recording of Deco's earlier self-incriminating words.
Sue knows I'm the only thing standing between her and numerous jail sentences. My power, my money, my presence. But I understand and support her. I appreciate her nefarious talents and nurture them. She knows that I made her, and I can unmake her at a moment's notice.
Golly, that sure smells like corruption of a minor and blackmail to me. And once I do my hair in pigtails and offer a jury big puppy dog eyes, oh, my mean old dad forced me into a life of crime. Well, what do you think happens next?
No, that's impossible. You said you blocked all recording devices. I said I couldn't block Iris from functioning, just block her from uploading her recordings anywhere. She was still listening the whole time. You can go ahead and remove the data block now, Clyde. Already done. I've also uploaded a press kit based on our Dekonami archives to 5 major newspapers, 11 websites, ESPN, Esports Center, and HD TV. Home and Garden Television? I figured the 2 guards from Arcade Flippers might be interested. I really like that show. With that settled, Sue turns a smug, satisfied smile toward her doomed father.
Welcome to the Ides of March, Dad. You want to get me in trouble too? You feel free. At worst, I'll do a year or 2 in juvie. But you're gonna bleed out on the floor by the time I'm through.
Inky? Blinky? Yeah, boss. Show my father the door. Gently. Don't leave any marks, at least.
No! No! This is completely unacceptable! I am your father! I'm Dekonami! I am the arcade business!
Inky and Blinky easily restrain Deco by the arms, but I just can't let him go without having my 2 cents. It's nothing personal, Mr. Nami. Just business. The arcade industry doesn't need you anymore. It's time for fresh blood to turn things around from the dead end you steered it towards. And so, justice is served.
You impudent, insignificant little...
Are you still here? Not for long.
I haven't lost. I can still fight this. I can still...
And the ghost monsters remove Deco from our sights. Instantly, the entire atmosphere of the place changes, as if a great weight has lifted. I couldn't be more relieved, and I relax into a sigh. Not gonna lie, the next few days will be interesting, to say the least. I think you'd better stay at my place. My parents won't mind at all. Yeah, I'm gonna need to hide out until the heat's off. Maybe practice patting my eyelashes at a weak-willed jury box full of concerned parents, too. Sue blinks in astonishment. Oh, right, Diva, you're still here. You're pretty cool in the end, I gotta admit. 7 out of 10 minimum. I don't know if we'll ever be friends exactly, but you've got my respect. I'll keep my promise. The public will know Deco hired a gang to go after you. That should exonerate your arcade as a victim of his shady dealings.
So, we square?
Thank you. I know this wasn't easy for you giving up so much. And I appreciate what you've done for my arcade.
I owed you, honestly. I may still owe you for that matter.
No one can defeat us. Deco can suck it. You hear that? Suck it.
I'm pretty sure he's out of hearing range.
It, I don't even care. We're badasses. You kicked so much butt. We rule.
Tansy, you always manage to bring a smile to my face. You're not wrong. My ass kicking was phenomenal.
Damn right. Without you, none of this could have happened. I'm happy that we could be partners in victory.
Partners in victory and life.
And I'm so proud to call you my partner. Now let's celebrate.
The next few days passed by in a blur. That morning we had press crowding around the doors of the arcade before we even opened. Sue's care package of bad news that went up the wire caught their attention. Mix in your face! Mix in your face! Is it true that Deco Nami organized a gang hit on your arcade? How do you respond to the allegations that Deco Nami is involved in an international counterfeit plush doll prize ring? What is your relationship with the ghost monsters? Have you heard any of the allegations of child abuse? Have you seen Mrs. DeFame's article talking about the incident, praising your professionalism? I gave so many interviews that day that I lost my voice. Fortunately, Queen Bee was on hand to keep me hydrated and encourage me onward. Everybody loved to see a fallen family entertainment icon. It made them feel self-righteous. And Deco Nami was now square in the crosshairs. It didn't matter that the official police response was a generic, "We are still investigating these claims." The court of public opinion had decided. Deco's palace was doomed. The final crushing blow came at a televised press conference 3 days later.
These obvious falsehoods generated by jealous business rivals and lying children merely go to show how the powerful are routinely targeted for harassment. Furthermore, what? No! Unhand me immediately! You... I'm innocent in these matters! Innocent!
And we never saw him again. Seriously, after the arrest, he just up and vanished from the public eye. It's honestly a bit creepy. I was at least expecting a trial or something.
He told me that if I didn't commit all those crimes, he'd take away my food. I never wanted to be a hacker. I just like computers. I wanted to get a computer degree and get a normal job like anyone else.
Largely a line of hokum, but it was good to see Sue breaking away from Deco's influence all the same. Who knows? Maybe Sue's ready to turn over a new leaf and go straight after all. The Deco's Palace Board of Directors unanimously voted to eject him, given he just vanished into the guts of the judicial system. Well, the arcade empire he's established is still out there. It's still powerful, still tacky as heck, and still a menace to small arcades like ours. But without his guiding vision, it's largely treading water. Who knows? Maybe one day the traditional arcades will overtake what he left behind. As for arcade spirits, good food, good times, it's a winning combination. And one that's worked out great for us. Hamza's side of the business practically prints money. The games don't pull in as much, but that's fine. Thanks to all the chicken wings we're selling, the place is packed to the brim with retro classics. There's something comfortable and classic about arcade spirits. When you're here, you can relax, grab a bite to eat, and have some fun. Who doesn't like that?
Having assisted in the slaying of Deco Nami's foul presence, Hamza finds himself tired of the restaurant business. It seems his wanderlust has returned. Farewell, my friends. I leave my dining establishment in your capable hands. I must resume seeking mysterious and unknowable arcade treasures far and wide. I'll have a doggy bag of those delicious jalapeno poppers to go for when I depart, of course.
But the arcade in the end is less important than the people who call it home. After establishing a US-based Heavenly Kings team house, Tanvi went on to win not one, but many tournaments with her new team. Now, she's the most prominent and well-known Fist of Discomfort player in the world. She's got several sponsors and travels all over, taking on all challengers. Everyone knows the name of Queen Bee. She trained day and night, day after day, took trips to visit the original Heavenly Kings, and never gave up her dream. And I was right there beside her, the whole time cheering her on. Since I was adept at managing Arcade Spirits, I even got to help Tanvi manage the team, like a co-manager, if you will. It allowed me to take time to travel with her and explore all the cities we went to as well. I can't believe it. Champion 5 years in a row.
Oh, I can believe it. This is great.
How should we celebrate tonight? The usual wine and dine, dancing, party?
Actually, a nice quiet evening to wind down, just the two of us, snuggling on the couch. Oh, and a bottle of wine. That sounds like perfection.
You are perfection in every way. And that sounds like a fine way to celebrate.
I wouldn't want to be celebrating this victory with anyone else but you.
Iris explained to me that irises, being adaptive software, eventually become more and more like their users. It seems my empathy has rubbed off on her. With my influence, she's grown quite a bit.
I hope that one day, humans will see us as friends and allies. All I've ever wanted was to embrace kindness and understanding. And thanks to you, I've learned so much.
And would you believe it? Gavin and Naomi ended up dating. Both of them were a bit distant from the others at first, but I guess everything we did together helped them come out of their shells a bit and realize neither one was an enemy. Oh, they argue from time to time, usually about games and profit margins, but there's a mutual dream they share of a wonderful arcade where they can both be happy, and I'm proud to have played a small part in helping them find that out for themselves. Naomi formed an online community of arcade repair enthusiasts, one which let her make a safe place to get to know others and to be part of a crowd on her own terms. And Gavin took advantage of the fall of Deco's Palace to make Arcade Spirits the hottest new arcade destination on the block, using his excellent business skills. I know we're something of an odd couple, but that's okay. We're both odd people. We've never really done anything the normal way to begin with. Oddities we may be, but there's nothing odd about my love for you. I'm so honored to be by your side, Naomi. Percy only had 2 years left to live. But with the success of Arcade Spirits and with the encouragement of all of his friends, he decided that wouldn't be enough. My mind's made up. I'm going to seek more treatment. I don't want this to end. I don't want to say goodbye to you all. He lived many years to come, thanks to a renewed push to take care of his condition. Happy years spent with all of us. As for Mubi, well, with all the time in the world, he took his time, paced himself, and eventually beat the score. Although I'm honestly not sure what to do with the rest of my life. Suppose we'll have to see when we see, Through the good times and the bad, Juniper stuck by me, my BFF for life. I'm really proud of you, you know. You pulled yourself out of the tailspin your life was in. You went for it. You did it. You made it happen. I'm lucky I got to be even a small part of that. A large part of that, I'd say. I wouldn't be here now if it not for you. Hey, I'll take credit if you want me to. Just call me Juniper the Life Coach. And you know I'll be in your corner until you're dead. Hopefully later, rather than sooner, though. Ashley stayed as our main floor attendant for a while, but as we got bigger, more people took notice of Ashley's arcade spirit mascot costume. One of those people worked for a big name arcade and offered her a job to create cosplay for them. Ashley parted ways with us for that dream job. It makes sense considering we were never that close. Just wonder if she's happy there. Teo kept the Showtime stage scene alive here at Arcade Spirits until he got offered a job as their regional community manager. Teo put his crewmate Dee in charge here as he set off traveling and organizing dancing tournaments around the world. He's doing what he loves, connecting with all sorts of people. I guess he just never connected enough with anyone here to stay around. I wonder if he'll ever stop by again, hop on our stage, and show us his moves. Love and friendship in a time of pixels and quarters. Finally, I'm home. Arcade Spirits. Thank you, Arcade Spirits. My spirit is restored, and my future is bright. The last I can say, I'm happy. I'm finally, truly happy with who I am and where I am. I fought hard for this and won it at great effort, but happiness is my reward. For this day and every day to come. This is outrageous. I demand to speak with my lawyer. Hello? Hello? Can anyone hear me? You can't do this to me. I'm well aware of who you are. Good. Then you know I can afford a lawyer who can run circles around you, whoever you are. True, if you were officially under arrest. Technically, this facility does not exist. Neither do I. What? You can't do this. If you prefer, I would hand you over to the police. There's a cybercrime task force that's eager to get their hands on you. But if you like to avoid a lengthy prison sentence, I have a proposition for you. I'd like to know about a tiny, tiny little detail buried in all those leaked files your daughter posted online. Specifically the 1980X playtest. The what? I'm afraid you have me at a disadvantage. You know damn well what I'm talking about. Sinolotion's pride and joy. You hosted secret playtests of that game. Oh, those tests. Sorry, but I don't see what help I'll be. I only played a minor role. Once the test was over, the machines were shipped out to other locations. Exactly. Against our authority, Sinolotion distributed their prototypes. And you're going to use your connections, all your leverage, every drop of what little influence you have left, to help us find our property. Polybius was our project, Mr. Nami, and we want it back.
Thank you for joining me as I played Arcade Spirits by Fiction Factory Games. I do have a few things to say about this game before I get started with my review, so I just wanted to say that my opinions are all subjective and I in no way intend offense to anyone, especially not to the creators of the game. However, if there is anyone who disagrees with me on any of my points, I am open to a friendly discussion, but not to debate or to arguing. I want this to be a chill community, and I am not above removing hateful comments in the people who made them. That being said, and since this is still a baby channel, I want to explain my point system. I have broken down my review into 5 short segments: story, art, music, gameplay, and overall. And for each segment, I will rate that category with either a star, a half star, or no star, depending on my opinion, my purely personal and subjective opinion of that category. The first 4 categories are pretty self-explanatory, but for the overall segment, I will be taking everything from the other 4 segments and rating how they work together, while also determining whether or not the game I am reviewing has a replayability aspect. Now, without further ado, let's get started. Arcade Spirits follows the adventures of a down-and-out person who is convinced that the universe is against them. Right off the bat, the story assaults you with one existential crisis after another, but if you're like me and have gotten used to living in a constant state of existential dread, you won't lose too much of your time. Just your sleep. I kid. But the story does deal with a lot of self-doubt, life crises, adulting, basically a lot of heavy topics broken up by fun and witty dialogue. Almost as if the characters themselves are using the same terrible coping mechanisms I am to trudge through this hellscape we call life. Throughout the story, you're met with ups and downs and social faux pas that make the story both entertaining and captivating, but also watch as the characters around you grow with you as you learn more and more about them. I do want to mention that I'm not a fan of the pedestal that the player character put their love interest on. I don't know if the player character is like that for all of the romantic choices, but there were times when they were interacting with Queen Bee that I got some seriously creepy, obsessive vibes. Despite that, the romance is slight and subtle enough for my Arrow Ace heart to manage while also battling my fear of failure. Wait, that was in the game, not real life. Anyway, for this emotional roller coaster, I'd give it a star. The art was good, like really good. The lines and coloring were crisp, the character designs were unique and inventive, and the backgrounds and their secret penguins were fantastic. However, as good as the art was, I take a slight issue with the fact that there weren't any big women dating options.
The only overweight female character was Juniper, your best friend, who was not one of the dating options. And before one starts with, "What about Percy? He's a big guy," Percy was also the only overweight male character. So don't think I didn't notice that either. Yes, I wound up dating Queen Bee, or Tanvi, but that was the roll of the dice, not my own decision. My dice wanted me to date myself, apparently. But all of that is beside the point. Look, I get that character design is hard. I love character design, but creating several, and I mean several, unique characters, even for a bit role, is difficult. In my own art, I find it hard to create characters outside of my comfort zone on purpose. My point is more that I wish I'd seen more body type variations in both male and female characters, and I also wish that there were some ambiguously gendered dating options as well. One thing I kind of held onto throughout the game was that there weren't any body type choices for the avatar. It was all the same body type, even though hair, eye, and skin color was customizable. Now, this can be chalked up to how this type of visual novel is put together. There weren't a whole lot of scenes where you got to see your avatar in anything but their generic pose, but when they were in a scene with other characters, i.e. the van trip, the maid outfit, the beach scene, etc., I can see how having too much customization could really gum up the works. Though I'll give that a pass for now, I still would like to have seen more variety in body types for dating options. Despite all of that, however, I really admire the art and give it a full star. I didn't really pay attention that much to the music, because most of the time it was the same thing on loop. Over time, I just completely tuned it out and didn't really notice if it changed or not. However, it wasn't terrible, but it also wasn't memorable, so I will at least give it half a star. I've been giving this a lot of thought, because visual novels make up a pretty big percentage of the Humble Bundles bundle for racial justice and equality. Originally, I felt that gameplay was going to be a throwaway score for visual novels, but I have since determined that gameplay is just as important to visual novels as it is to traditional video games. How many times can I say visual novels without losing its meaning? What I've realized is that visual novels is that the gameplay is in the choice map. Picture a maze, like Mr. Moopy's Magic Maze, and imagine that all of the choices you have to make in the story are the different paths you can take through the maze. For a visual novel, the maze is invisible, but it's still there, and the choices you make dictate the story's path. So, from this day forward, I, deValiante, swear that I will give visual novels their due and henceforth judge them on their invisible mazes. Arcade Spirits has an intricate and complex invisible maze that shows how absolutely vast its world is. There are seemingly endless choices to make. If you've ever seen a choose-your-own-adventure map and how complicated those look, can you imagine the plot path nightmare Arcade Spirits map is? Can you? I can, but I don't want to. So for that, I give the gameplay a star. When you put all of the elements of story, art, music, and gameplay together for Arcade Spirits, you get an astoundingly rounded game. There was very little I actually took issue with aside from reliving my own customer service trauma, and I really enjoyed this game. I loved the characters, the plot, and even some of the mishaps that my character got themselves into. I also really appreciate that there was a no romance option at the beginning of the game, as well as an option to not choose to date anyone during Chapter 5, where the romance begins. It makes my little Arrow Ace heart proud to see things like that in games at all. As a recently discovered non-binary, I also appreciated there being they/their options for the character customization. Of course, I would have appreciated they/their being an option even if I wasn't non-binary. It's just nice to feel seen. Because there are so many choices to make in this game, the replayability is undeniable. There are just too many paths to take, and I personally would love to see how the story plays without romance. Unfortunately, I have so many more games to get through, so any replays I do will have to be way down the line. But for now, I give this game a star. That gives Arcade Spirits 4.5 stars. Thank you everyone for watching deValiante Plays Arcade Spirits. If you enjoyed what you saw, please let me know what you liked the most down in the comments. Please refrain from any hate toward me or the game developers. This review is just my opinion, and the devs worked really hard to make this game happen, and they deserve our support, because who doesn't love crippling dating anxiety? Arcade Spirits, the new challengers, will be available to play soon, and if you would like to see me play through that as well, let me know down below. That's all for now, folks, and I'll see you next time.